Ooh, right, Dorian.
I ran into Fiona. Seems you have Alexius serving the mutants.
Slightly approves.
There's some justice in that after what he did to them. Maybe one day he'll realize it.
Tell me about Alexius then.
You said Alexius was a mentor of yours.
He was my patron, sponsoring me to the higher levels of the Circle of Magi. In return, my successes were his.
Academia.
I had a lot of successes, naturally. Alexius was most pleased. He and I used to talk over brandy about the corruption. How we could one day make real change in the Imperium. And then he gave up. He stopped trying.
Why? Was it something to do with Felix?
Why did he give up?
On a journey to Hosburg, a Darkspawn raid killed his wife and sickened his son. I remember hearing the news. He hadn't been there, you see. Alexius was convinced he could have protected them. The guilt tore him up. I helped him with his research for a while, and then we drifted apart.
You both gave up. No. That one's a difficult one. I'm sorry.
That must have been difficult.
Back then, I was furious. I told him to snap out of it, move on. He thought I had all the answers. Later, I regretted my hasty words. But we didn't speak again until he approached me for the Venatori. Too much pride, I suppose. Plus, I was busy drinking. One must have priorities.
I think you felt guilty, too.
I don't think that's it. You felt guilty because you couldn't help him.
Never you. I had a choice, you see. Wallow in self-pity or get away while I could. At any rate, he's fallen so low, I doubt he'll ever get up. Sad, really.
Okay.
I should go.
As you wish.
This guy's just been trying to get past this way, rather than going around. We'll talk to Solus. Maybe he'll have some interesting comments about Alexius himself.
What can I do for you?
Oh, not.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye. Ooh. Ooh, this is a different way. Cullen's over this way, eh? I like this more. This feels more like a castle now. It's sprawling and you can get lost in it. I used to do that a lot when we went on holiday to Wales. Ooh. Cutscene imaging.
Inquisitor, I've found where the Red Templars come from. They're in full redoubt. The Knights were fed red lyrium until they turned into monsters. Samson took over after their corruption was complete.
How do you know Samson?
He was a Templar in Kirkwall, until he was expelled from the Order. I knew he was an addict, but this... Red lyrium is nothing like the lyrium given by the Chantry. Its power comes with a terrible madness.
We can't use... No! Let's try raising that with Varric, shall we? I'm sure he'll be ecstatic.
The Red Templars swarming Haven were proof enough.
We cannot allow them to gain strength. The Red Templars still require lyrium. If we find their source, we can weaken them and their leader.
What's your plan? You want vengeance? No. What's your plan?
Where do we begin?
Caravans of red lyrium are being smuggled along trade roads. Investigating them could lead to where it's being mined. If you confront them, be wary. Anything connected to Samson will be well guarded.
Okie dokie. Okay, there. Yeah. Right, and we have this quest back here, downstairs. Now, I could actually head down there. Actually, let's talk to Cullen. Maybe he's got something. No, because he didn't... Actually, well, we don't have approval with Cullen, but... We have another cutscene.
As leader of the Inquisition, you... There's something I must tell you.
That looks like some kind of, like, I'm guessing, kind of lyrium thing?
Whatever it is, I'm willing to listen.
Right. Thank you. Lyrium grants Templars our abilities, but it controls us as well. Those cut off suffer. Some go mad, others die. We have secured a reliable source of lyrium for the Templars here. But I no longer take it.
You stopped?
When I joined the Inquisition. It's been months now.
Yeah, but you could die! Yeah, that... You seem fine. Yes, hunched over and pausing at points in the sentence that would make William Shatner question you. So... yeah, why? Let's go with that one first.
Why are you doing this?
After what happened in Kirkwall, I couldn't. I will not be bound to the Order, or that life, any longer. Whatever the suffering, I accept it. But I would not put the Inquisition at risk. I've asked Cassandra to watch me. If my ability to lead is compromised, I will be relieved from duty.
Are you okay?
Are you in pain?
I can endure it.
As she's a Seeker, she's probably got... I think they have some oversight of the Templars from what they've been saying. So I will trust Cassandra.
Cassandra takes things as seriously as you do. If she has no problem with this, neither do I.
I thought you had a right to know. The Inquisition's army must always take priority. Should anything happen, I will defer to Cassandra's judgment.
Confessions of a lyrium addict. Anything more?
Yes?
Samson.
You and the Red Templars' leader seem to have personal history.
When I arrived in Kirkwall, Samson and I shared quarters. He seemed a decent man at first. Knight Commander Meredith later expelled Samson for erratic behavior. He ended up begging on Kirkwall streets. He committed further crimes, but managed to evade the Order's justice. Now Samson serves Corypheus as his loyal general.
Why would he do that?
Why do you think Samson joined Corypheus?
He had a chronic lyrium addiction. He spent every last coin buying it from local smugglers. Perhaps Corypheus flattered his vanity, gave him purpose as well as lyrium. Perhaps that's all it took.
Then I pity him.
Sounds like Samson had a miserable life.
The Order expelled him, but he had choices. He could have found another path. I don't understand how he became so powerful. Even with red lyrium, Samson's glory days are long behind him.
Huh, right. Well, I don't know what I'm doing. Right, that's what I'm doing. Well done. Well done, brain. I'm going to go and try and pick up this quest. From in here, which I assume is from Mother Giselle.
My Lord Inquisitor, it's good of you to speak with me. I have news regarding one of your companions, the De Winter.
I assume you mean Dorian? Because we kind of have two around. What has he done?
Has Dorian done something wrong?
No, thankfully. It's nothing like that. I have been in contact with his family. House Pavas, out of Carenas. Are you familiar with them?
I've never met them.
Familiar? We've never met, if that's what you're suggesting.
I'm suggesting nothing. I'm only curious whether you know of his situation. The family sent a letter describing the estrangement from their son and pleading for my aid. They've asked to arrange a meeting quietly without telling him. They fear it's the only way he'll come. Since you seem to be on good terms with the young man, I'd hoped...
What kind of meeting?
Just what kind of meeting do you have in mind?
I believe they just want to talk, to understand why Dorian felt he had to come here. Somewhere private, away from Skyhold, but not in Tevinter. You make them nervous, I think. They don't understand why he's here with the Inquisition. They want him to come home.
And you want him gone. Let's not antagonize people, and if he doesn't agree?
What happens if Dorian doesn't agree?
Hopefully that will be the end of it. If not, well, that's why you should be there.
In case they try by force. Why would they contact you in particular? No. They don't want to tell him?
They don't want Dorian to know. That seems odd.
They believe the young man would refuse, and the letter implies he'd have both. Yet, they are remorseful for whatever came before. This is a chance for dialogue. There is deceit in bringing the young man to this meeting without his foreknowledge, I know. But does it not lead to a greater kindness if there is potential for reconciliation?
Don't say things like that. Lead to a greater good. Greater good. Greater kindness. Don't like the phrase greater good, because it implies what you know what you're doing is wrong and evil. Do you think this is legitimate?
Are you sure this isn't some kind of trap? I mean, the secrecy.
That did occur to me. What if it is a plot of those mages, the Venatori? Another reason to put this in your hands, Inquisitor. I pray that isn't the case. But if it is, you are far better equipped than I to respond to such treachery.
And why would they contact you?
Why would his family contact you?
Because they don't know you, Inquisitor. I am not of the Imperial Chantry, but they know what I represent. These are parents concerned about the welfare of their son. How could I not do whatever possible? I would speak to the young man myself, but he does not care. Thus I come to you. If any good can come of this, we must try.
I shall think about it.
I'll see what I can do.
Bless you, Inquisitor. The family will send a retainer to meet the young man at the Red Cliff Temple, to take him onward. If he truly does not wish this reunion, he can always end the matter there. I shall pray for your success, and the young man's happiness. That's all we can hope for. Is it not?
Your Reverence, I understand that you feel inadequate to the task of bringing Dorian to a secret meeting. Even in the asking, I find it difficult to believe myself, considering my son has rebuffed all contact is the only way. I know him. He would be too proud to come if he knew, even just to talk. That is all we wish to do. The thought of Dorian in the south placing himself in the path of such danger alarms us more than I can express. If this somehow succeeds, we have a family retainer at the Vandrel Hills watching for Dorian's arrival. He will bring the boy to us somewhere private. If Dorian utterly refuses to go with him, it ends there, and there is nothing we can do. We are at our wits' end. Graciously yours, Magister Hallwood of House Pavus. Or Pavus, I think she said. So, I think... I don't know. I'm umming and ahhing about whether to tell Dorian... But we're going to head up to here. Ooh, I think that's new, isn't it? Potentially. That's old. It's been there for a while. Right, the War Council with Hunter's Fell. With me little card. With me logic grid. And so... Oh, we can do this now, can't we? Ooh.
Really? You did not notice? I had no idea Lady Beverly was one of your people. You might have told me before I embarrassed myself.
What's the other one we've got over here? The Warden, isn't it? Mediate between Ostrich families. Dear cousin, I did not expect you to come to our rescue, as we haven't seen each other since we were babes. But you have, and I am indeed grateful. I'm not a woman who speaks the way the diplomats do. If yours hadn't stepped in, this useless bickering would have become worse. The Inquisition has saved the family its pride and more. I've sent good labourers to your cause. If you return to Ostwick, come dine with us. My table is always open to you. Most sincerely, Lady Osha Lathan, Trevelyan Bayard of Ostwick. Thank you. And hinterland resources. Shipment of resources from the hinterlands has arrived. Some elf fruit. And where did I send Mr. Cullen? Maybe I didn't send out Cullen. Right, Venatory agent. Okay, so the first one. So basically, there are 5 people: an Elysian, a Ferelden, both human, an elf, a dwarf, and a Talvashoth.
Wonder of wonders. Perhaps they can be useful to us after all.
Now, out of those 5 different people, there is an apostate, a bard, a dragon hunter, a mortalitasi, and a smuggler. And so you've got to kind of work out which is which, because we know the Ferelden's the Venatory agents. We need to work out who they are, but we're not going out and saying, "Oh, go and kill the mortalitasi." Oh, the Ferelden. It's the mortalitasi, the smuggler, and the bard. And I'm worried I'm going to accidentally click on the wrong one doing that, so I'm not going to do it anymore. So the elf is right. So the first one we learn is the apostate. So we sent Cullen out to find the apostate, and the apostate said the chant is for humans. So obviously not the Elysian or the Ferelden. We know it's not the dwarf. Dwarves can't do magic, and I don't think the Talvashoth would be an elf. Would be an apostate. So the elf is the apostate. There we go, giving away what I'm thinking. The next we learnt was that the Talvashoth wasn't a smuggler because the Talvashoth has a relationship with the smuggler in some way. So that crosses that out. We then sent Josephine after the Elysian, I think. Or was it the Liliana? No, it was Liliana after the Elysian. And she said that the Elysian and the elf were the 2 mages. Now, bard, dragon hunter, smuggler, they're not mages, so the Elysian has to be the mortalitasi. And also that the Talvashoth provided dragon ingredients. Now, they're not the smuggler, so they must be the dragon hunter. That leaves the Ferelden and the dwarf, and the bard and the smuggler. And we're told that the dwarf is not the smuggler, meaning that the Ferelden is the smuggler. I would have liked like a few more layers and grids and weirdness, but, you know, that's because I'm a bit odd. Now, we know that the Ferelden is the Venatory agent, so we need to kill the smuggler to stop them doing anything else. Go, Liliana.
Let's see what we have.
I hope I'm not wrong. Alliance is observing the deadlock. It was to be expected in the wake of so many important deaths and the rise of the Inquisition. Several noble houses are attempting to spur their fortunes by crafting an alliance of their own. For now, they seem mired in arguments of seniority. It'll be a long time before any of them threaten our standing. I should probably be thinking about all of these. And there's loads of... We can spend them on getting new areas, which actually there are a few areas we could do with. But we've got a lot of space. Oh, there he is. There's Cullen. We conducted sweeps of the Storm Coast and determined where the Darkspawn are most concentrated. Our Ferelden-born soldiers are quite eager to see them driven back. Scout Harding. Apparently, no rewards. That's sad. Gain Orzamar's friendship. Definitely want to do that. We received a message from Orzammar. Knowing an ancient Darkspawn threatens Thedas, King Balin officially declared his support for the Inquisition. I would advise sending a delegation to Orzammar as soon as possible to cement this alliance. Yes.
Let us begin.
Investigate the Frostbacks. I'd like it if there were different symbols for if they were if I'd done them or not, because I'm not entirely sure what the difference is.